here. Excellent. Okay. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Sarah Tingley. I am your child's fifth grade teacher, as you know by now. Because we did not have an official like in-person back to school night, I was just feeling very badly about that. Like I didn't prepare you parents well enough for what was happening. So I thought this would be a good way to kind of show you what your kids are doing and what they are accessing, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. We'll go through Google Classroom really quickly, a student view for you, so you can see what your child is seeing. And then I'll just take you through my website on the Central Dauphin School District site. And then I can answer any questions for you that you have. So let me just share my screen with you here. So every child has a Google account. They can access it through Google. They know how to do that. They actually go to the Central Dauphin School website. They go up here to parents and students and click on student portal. And then they can scroll down to Google Classroom and it will ask them to log in through there. So when they log in, they see this screen. They should have two classrooms, a specials classroom and then my classroom. So the specials classroom is where all the special teachers will post their assignments. The kids do have assignments for their specials because they aren't seeing their special teachers every week like they normally would be. So under classwork is everything for each week. And because the special teachers don't get to see the kids as often, their assignments go for a 2-week period of time. So the kids have 2 weeks to complete all their special assignments on here. Now they will see their special teacher at least once in that 2-week period, so they can always ask them any questions they have about that. To get back to our classroom, they just click up here and classes, and it'll take them back to the main screen where they can click on our classroom. So the first thing the kids are gonna see here is our stream, and this is just kind of like, if you think of it as Facebook, it's the wall. They can post on here, ask questions on here. So you can see we have a lot of things going on with Zoom on our stream today because of everything that happened with Zoom. And then they have a classwork tab. This is where they will live. This has everything they will need for the entire time that they're virtual. So what I've done to make it easier for them is I have separated their assignments into group A and group B. So, and then only allowed group A to see group A assignments and group B to see group B assignments. So it makes it super easy for the kids. What they see is what they have to do. I've even scheduled things to come out on the day that I want them to do it. So you can see this is a group B student. There are only 3 assignments here, Monday assignments. That's it. I felt like the first week I did this, I had everything on there. Kids were overwhelmed. They didn't know what assignments to do, what was theirs, when to do them, that kind of thing. So I've made it very easy for them. Things are scheduled to come out to show up for them on the day that I want them to do it. Everything is labeled with their group and the day and the subject. The weekly agenda is always the very first thing they're going to see. So when you click on the weekly agenda, this is literally everything I want them to do for the whole week. So it's in a Google Slides. So I don't know how that formats on a phone, but you can certainly try it if you're using a phone and you want to bring this up. So the first slide in here is going to be their schedule. So it's group A is in school Monday, Tuesday, virtual the rest of the week. Group B is virtual Monday, Tuesday, and in school Wednesday, Thursday, and then virtual Friday. Here's their meeting schedule. It makes it really easy. Everything is right here with all the times. Friday is the only day that's different. They have an extra check-in at 2:30. Here's the Zoom meeting link. This link does work. It is the correct up-to-date link. So they can use that one now. Then I have group A in person, overview of what we're doing. So if you're curious about what we're doing in class on your child's days that they're here, take a look. I have everything sort of bullet pointed here. Now, just because it's here doesn't mean we necessarily get to it. I have big dreams about what I want to accomplish every day, and cross my fingers that we get to it. If we don't, it moves to the next day. So like today, we did not get to do our schema, bubble, and picture. So that we'll get that done tomorrow. So that's group A in person and group B in person. They'll, for the most part, stay the same. It might vary a little bit. And then we have group B's virtual day. Work assignments are here. So everything virtually that I want them to do is spelled out here in a table, and then group A's assignments here and Friday's assignments. Typically, they all have the same thing for each subject area. This week, group A and B will have different science assignments. So just make sure they pay attention to that. But again, when in their classwork tab, everything is anything that shows up in their classwork is only for them. So they don't have to worry about, should I do it? Should I not? If it's there, they do it. And then everything is spelled out for them. So if you click on group B, Monday math, I number it. Number 1, complete the multiplication practice for virtual day 1 in ClassKick. Number 2, extra math. So if they have multiple things I want them to do, it's numbered. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and there are always links for everything. All they have to do is click and it'll take them right there. This one you see they have multiple things to click on. It looks like a lot, but each one of these things should only take them at the most 5 to 6 minutes. So I try to keep everything about a half an hour block of time because that's what it is in their virtual schedule. If something's taking a little longer, they can do what they can get done and move on and finish it another time. So this was this week's. Here's their virtual schedule. So if you want to know what their virtual schedule looks like, this is what their Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday schedule. This is kind of what we want them to stick to. So essentially they work on something in half-hour increments of time. And then Friday the same, everything sort of in half-hour increments of time. Because that's kind of how we do it in class. So if you're looking for something to sort of guide your child when they're at home working, this is a really good guide for them. It kind of might keep them on track a little more. It's a little more structured like they have in school. So you can always refer to this if you want. I don't think you have to keep to these, at a really super strict. If your kiddo wants to do reading first thing in the morning and content later on in the day, go for it, or math first thing, content later on in the day, that's fine. It just is kind of what they were going for when they put this out as a district, was just to kind of keep the kids on some sort of structured schedule, to help them understand that when they're not in school, when they're on their virtual days, they are still in school. It is still school. It is not a day off for them. And so they put the schedule out to kind of make the kids understand, when you're on your virtual days, this is still a school day. And here is a schedule to follow that shows the structure of a school day. And this is how we want that to look. Obviously, we understand that things at home are not the same for everyone. So that schedule may not look the same for everyone. I usually don't check work for one day until the next morning, because I know, kids at home may be at a daycare or at a grandparent's or somewhere else, and they're not able to work during the day, and they can't work until in the evening when they get home or when mom and dad get home. So, you know, we understand that schedules vary and everybody does what they have to do, and we all do the best that we can. The next thing you'll see here is Zoom meetings. So the link is here. All the kids have to do is click on it. In case they need it, here's the meeting ID and the passcode. I don't know if they'll need it. With the new way that we're doing Zoom now with the district, it's new security measures to try to keep unwanted people out of our Zoom meetings. I personally have never had that experience, but I know others have. So the first time the kids log in, they will have to log in with their district username and password. So their username is their graduation year. So for these kiddos, 28, the first 5 letters of their last name, their first initial and middle initial. And then what they're going to ask for here is an email. So it's that username at students.cdschools.org. And I can put that in here for them as well so that they remember what that is. They should only need to do that one time. The first time they do it, and that's it. Other than that, they should be good to go. The teachers were talking about, you know, we heard some of the kids who were having to fill out security questions and some others weren't. So we were maybe wondering if you're not on a school device, if you had to do the security questions, or if you are on a school device, it doesn't make you do that because you're already sort of connected to the school network. But we're not sure. We've been getting emails throughout the day with updates on how the new Zoom procedures are working. So it's going to be a little trial and error for right now until we get it all figured out. Fingers crossed after this week, everything will be smooth sailing. And then the Zoom schedule is here as well. You can just click on it and it's there for the kids in case they need it. But again, it's also in that agenda. So I have things in multiple places just in case. Everything else underneath here is old. These are previous weeks of work. Here is our guidance counselor's information, Mrs. Simcox, in case you have need for her services. Most of the kids are on the specials Google Classrooms, but just in case they're not for some odd reason, that's how to join there. Here's our teacher information. So here's my 5th grade parent information, and here's contact information for Mrs. Gross. She's our learning support teacher for those of you who have kiddos in learning support. And that's it. At the very top here, I put optional fast finisher activities. Kids work at different paces, and sometimes kids are done with the virtual stuff earlier than others. So I tell them all the time, click on your optional fast finisher activities. There's all kinds of things they can do here if they are looking for other things to do. So I'm going to stop for a minute. I know that was a lot of information. Does anyone have any questions about Google Classroom? You'll just have to unmute yourself and yell at me because I can only see 4 of you at a time. So any questions from anyone? Okay, well then, I'll just keep going. So this is the Central Dauphin School website, if you aren't familiar with it. What we have then, if you want to get to my personal website, you would go down here to schools and Chambers Hill Elementary. And then up at the top, just click on staff, and you can find any of our staff members' websites here. My name, Grade 5S Tingley, and then this is my website. Anything you want to know about me, our schedule is here, including our special days. So if somebody's like, I don't know when we have gym, have them check that out. Here's your parent information again, information about class tag, spelling, vocabulary, scholastic book orders, and educational links. I've shown the kids the educational links. There are a million different websites they can go on to practice a ton of different skills and concepts. So if they're at home, they're like, I'm bored. Go to Mrs. Tingley's website and pick an educational link to do. Most of them are games and fun things. So they're not too horrible, hopefully. And they're not super boring, I don't think. But I'm not 10, so what do I know? But that's about it for that. Does anyone have any questions in general about expectations or assignments or scheduling? Anything virtual? I'm not an IT person, but I can do my best to answer questions about that.
I just wanted to say this was very helpful. You were very thorough.
Oh, good. Okay.
Perhaps you should do this lesson for other teachers. Or, I mean, you lay it out very nicely.
Oh, good.
And I really agree with the breakdown of days, like putting the assignments just for the day, because I know for myself personally, when I would see that long list, it's like, oh boy, and sometimes some of the kids might feel, oh no, I have to get this all done today. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you broke it down day by day, I think it's a lot more manageable for them to see it that way. Like I know as a parent, it's a lot more manageable in my head, even though I'm not doing the assignment. I just think it's more visually for the kids.
Good. But I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Overall, like very thorough, very easy to maneuver and manage. So thank you for that.
Of course. Yeah. It was a little trial and error, figuring out how to do that and sort of asking the kids, what do you guys think? Is this too much? Do you want me to separate it by groups? And they overwhelmingly said, yes, please separate it, group A, group B, like that. Because I know they felt like it was overwhelming. So I'm glad that you feel like it's more manageable. I don't want to make things harder for the kids than they already are, doing the whole hybrid thing.
And hats off to you too. I know that probably took a lot more effort and a lot more time to do that. So thank you. I mean, that goes without saying. Very appreciative.
Of course. I'm here for the kids. So whatever I can do to make things easier, and I've got it down to sort of a science after the first couple of weeks. So I think I've got it down to kind of a pretty manageable way of doing things for myself. So that doesn't take me as long. The longest part of the whole thing is like putting links in, because it's copy, paste constantly. Thank you, Ms. Kennedy. The kids are seeming to be getting a hang of things a little more. We're 3 weeks in now. I've talked to most of them about, hey, I'm not seeing this. And they're like, I don't know how to do that. Okay, well, let's see how we do that. So I think they're all really finding things a lot easier now. They're figuring out websites that we're continually using on a regular basis. And they're good about speaking up and saying, oh, I like this better. I don't like that. That was helpful. This wasn't. So thankfully they're a vocal group, and they're always willing to give me their opinion, whether I like it or not. Which I encourage. This is all new to me too. So it's a huge learning curve for everyone. So anything that parents have, any suggestions you all have, any suggestions that the kids have, remind them to speak up if they're having trouble with something, they can't find something, something's hard for them. Okay, so grades, I will have to send you. because I'm the only one that can see grades in Google Classroom, but I will put all the grades in Hack. So the Home Access Center is where you can check grades still. That doesn't change. But you should get an email through Google showing every week, showing you what assignments are missed in Google by your child. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they didn't do that assignment. That could just mean they didn't click that turn in button at the top or that I'm done button at the top. So it just shows it's missing because they didn't click the button. I'm trying to remind the kids to click the button. But if you're concerned that you're getting emails that say they're missing all of these things, just let me know. I'm happy to let you know, yes, they didn't complete this, this, and this, or no, they completed all of it. They just didn't hit the button, that kind of thing. So don't panic if you get an email with a list of missing assignments. It just probably means they didn't click a button. They love to click buttons all the time, but that one button seems to be eluding them. So I will put grades in, for me, the Teacher Access Center, and they'll show up in Hack for you, that you can check them anytime you want. I'm just starting to grade some things. So I don't have any grades in there yet. I'm just starting to collect some grades. I was trying to give the kids the first couple weeks to kind of get the hang of things and figure things out before I started throwing graded assignments at them. But I feel like they have a pretty good handle on it now. So I started I threw some graded assignments in there for Friday last week. Yeah, of course, no problem. What else can I do for anyone? I don't want to keep you all too long, but I just want to make sure everybody feels okay about everything. And your kiddos know what they're doing too. They have they are technologically savvy kids, so they can find their way around Google Classroom. If you want to see their Google Classroom, the only way to do that is to log into their account. I have asked multiple times, multiple people about how can parents see their kids' Google Classroom? Can they access it? Is there a way they can get in? And I keep getting the same answer. No, they have to use their child's Google login. So if you want to see your kiddo's stuff, you'll just have to log into their account yourself. Unfortunately, that's the only way to do it right now. So I don't even have access to a student account unless I use one of the kids' accounts. So that's the only way I'm able to show you a student view is I have permission to use one of the kids' accounts to show you their stuff, so, and what it looks like. But like I said, I'm recording this, so I will send it out to everyone. I mean, you can if you want to. If you want to send devices with the kids, so sending devices to school while she's here. If you're comfortable doing that, that's fine. We don't necessarily use devices every day. And I am able to sign out a set of Chromebooks for the kids, but I plan on, as we move forward, trying to do things more and more virtually, just to make that transition between home and school a little bit easier and a little more seamless. My fear is that kids, are going to forget stuff here at school that they're supposed to be doing at home, and vice versa. So we will be doing novel studies and reading this year. And my hope is that I can get as much of that work online for them as possible so that they can work on it here at school. It's saved for them online. They just go home, pull it up on the computer. So as of right now, it's not necessary to send a device to school. If I really want you to send a device, I'll ask Say, hey, we're going to be using devices like all day today for different things. If you've got one, can you send one? But if we're just going to use it, you know, a couple times here and there throughout the week, I can sign them out in school in here. So that's not a big deal either. Okay, I'll let you know ahead of time if you know, it would be helpful to do that. Okay. Anything else I can do for anyone? Any idea how long the wait is for the devices? Oh my goodness, no. Unfortunately, I don't. There are so many kids across the district that are in need of devices. And unfortunately, we have zero idea when we'll be getting them. So we're all just kind of doing the best we can right now. If not having a device, I know kids are sharing or parents are sharing, if it would make it easier for me to send home paper work instead, I'm happy to do that. I'm already doing that for a couple of students who don't have a device at all at home. So it's not a big deal for me to just make an extra copy of those things and send them home too. So let me know if that would be helpful. The downside to that is then I can't send home things that require like videos or things like that. So that's the only thing, but I'm happy to do that. So just let me know if that's something that you would like me to do. I'm happy to do it. I'm so happy to have Layla here. She is such an awesome kiddo. She's so funny. She oftentimes the only one that responds to me in the morning. She's always excited to be here. Anything I can do for anyone else at all? Okay, well, please let me know if there's anything I can do for anyone. I'm happy to do it. And like I said, I recorded this, so I'll go ahead and send it out to everyone. You're very welcome. I'm happy to do it. I just, like I said, I just felt badly that we didn't have an in-person back to school night, and I just felt like parents were so out of the loop, and I hated that. So hopefully doing this, I'll send it, like I said, to everyone else, and they can get the same information. So I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. Enjoy your night. And I will see some of your kiddos in class tomorrow and others on Zoom. All right. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. Have a good night. Anything for the classroom? Not at the moment. Right now, I've still got a decent amount of boxes of tissues. So we're good on that, but that may change as the year goes on. I'll let you guys know if there's anything I need though. Thank you so much for asking.